Alright guys, what's up? Cobra Axis and Allies here. And we're back to my Global 36 game. As you can see right here, we've got the national production chart, and it is now January of 1942. Germany just had some major breakthroughs this turn, so you can see they're up to America's economy. And yeah, we've got a lot of tech being researched by all nations. So I guess first we'll start it off with the Asiatic theater over here. So America doesn't have much of a Pacific Navy going on. They just built some new transports and stuff. They've got a task force right here and a few infantry. Probably won't be able to take over, like any kind of mainland invasion. But some of the smaller islands over here, like the Marshall Islands and such. Russia, their capital was moved to here after it was taken out on the Eastern Front, and they've amassed a good force here, so they'll probably be launching some kind of attack on Japan pretty soon. Japan decided to actually build a seaplane, which is something I haven't seen in a while, or ever really, and that's because they're actually getting convoy rated, which I also haven't really seen before. So Japan launched a pretty big invasion. You can see their whole navy was right off the coast of Australia, so that was what they did when they declared war. And yeah, let's see if they'll actually be able to conquer the entirety of Australia. Probably using their warships as their gun support. Japan, as you might remember from the last videos, wasn't doing too well. China kept launching counterattacks into their country, or into their territory they captured. But last turn, everything kind of turned around because Japan started building tanks, so you can see some medium tanks. So after that, they were able to launch some stronger attacks. They also built a bunch of Marines, and here you can see they were able to finally capture, I think that's Kwangtung, or yeah, I think so, and Hong Kong here. So that was finally like a good solid win for the Japanese. Oh, and also the Philippines. So yeah, Britain has pretty much pushed back the Italians out of these three Middle Eastern countries here, slowly but surely, and this little armored force has finally kicked the Italians out of the Horn of Africa. Germany, Antarctica, nothing much has been happening. The only thing is just this seaplane has been a convoy raiding. So, yeah, no one's really around to take out Antarctica, so it's just been sitting there. The Free French are still doing really good, and right here you can see they're just kind of holding the line against Vichy forces, which I failed to move for the past couple of rounds, so now finally they're trying to stage some kind of assault to get to the French capital. Vichy France is still, standing strong up here in North Africa. You can see this is their main base of operations, and they've pushed into Tripolitania with some heavy tanks from the Americans, and you can see that Italy is not doing too well. They've pretty much been bottled up in Cyrenaica, and you can see this is pretty much their only major army anywhere. They're surrounded by British and French forces. Their navy is completely destroyed. And yeah, you can see up here in Europe, all they've got is a few black shirts defending the northern parts, and they pretty much abandoned the south, as they don't have the economy to defend it. And you can see they've only got a little army they used to take out Yugoslavia, and I just launched an invasion of Switzerland just to get a few more dollars. What else is going on? Germany launched a few nuclear attacks this turn. So you can see here, they launched a bomber down to Eastern Egypt, or Western Egypt, and they took out a bunch of tanks, so that was actually a pretty good nuclear attack. And so now that may have actually saved the Italians, because that British force there, along with their airplane or fighter, may not actually be able to take out the Italians. Still, not much has been happening in South America at all. Germany still maintains control over Chile, although this task force right here, as you can see, is representing these guys, and basically, as America, what I'm doing is I'm pretty much planning, like, that force is my Western Hemisphere kind of defense force, so they're probably going to be heading down to Antarctica to take that out, and then throughout the rest of the game they're going to be keeping South America under control and out of Comintern or Axis hands. Germany had a pretty bad time this turn when it came to their using the German war plans expansion, and this turn they were able to build 4 subs and at any naval base, so I built them here, and any other subs joining their task force got a +1. They got 6 movements total. So basically what I did was I took all the German subs out of the Atlantic, as well as the 4 I built here, so I had about 7, and I decided to send them for that task force to try to target select some of the transports. But I ended up only taking 1 destroyer off, and I retreated my last sub, so that's all I've got left in terms of the German Navy. And the Italians actually were able to break out of the Med with just a few submarines here, so as long as they can avoid the seaplane coverage, they should be all right. The Americans are actually doing pretty well. In the 3 games I've played, America hasn't really gotten into the game in a historically accurate time period, so that's a pretty new experience for me. So we've got some more reinforcements being built in on the East Coast, with some transports getting ready to ship out, and here is the major U.S. task force, and that consists of these guys right here, which have just dropped their units off in London. So they're trying to plan an attack, and now that Germany doesn't have any nukes on the board, it might be a good time to attack this turn. Germany, as you can see, still has some good forces to counterattack with, but really the main reason I didn't attack last turn France was because of Germany's nuclear armaments. But this little window opportunity I have to launch an invasion of France and hopefully take Paris should be good. The British came up here and took out Norway. They launched an airborne assault to try to take that heavy water plant, and they ended up succeeding, but then Germany this turn just launched an attack to take it back. So they've secured that, and yeah. Another thing I haven't seen before, a German seaplane. The Allies and Comintern are actually convoy raiding the Axis this game, so it's been getting some bad rolls and trying to do some anti-convoy raiding rolls. Russia was actually, in my opinion, doing pretty good. I thought that they would be able to go on the offensive and push Germany back, but this turn the Germans ended up doing some pretty fancy maneuvers where they ended up doing something I didn't even expect would happen, which they were able to completely surround. They were able to completely surround Moscow and take it with some heavy casualties, though. So there was a pretty good defense in Moscow, and as you can see here, the Russians just launched a small little attack to take out some German panzer divisions. And now Russia's mainly, their last holdout is down here in the Middle East, and hopefully they can hold that, because I don't want the Germans getting to Transcaucasia and aligning the Turks. Yeah, but now that we've gone full circle, that was January of 1942. It's a pretty fun game, and it's actually, I really like it because of how historically accurate it's turning out, with, Italy being kind of getting screwed by everybody. Germany, it was pretty realistic, where Germany pretty much had a line on the cusp of Moscow, but not really able to take it. But they basically launched an all-out kind of all-or-nothing assault, and they ended up taking out Moscow. Japan wasn't doing too great in China, but they launched their little initial strike and took a lot of places. So now they're doing a little bit better, and America's doing pretty well in terms of getting some task force in the Western Hemisphere, and getting some invasion force planning getting going. But yeah, that was January of 1942, and I'll see you guys again in the next video. Cobra, out.